Hey everybody, it's Bo. We're back in the house again. Listen, we're doing recaps of college programs across this country, and we've got one right now, a story that's leading. It's from Indiana University of Pennsylvania. It's Coach Lou Tepper. How you doing, Coach?
Hey, I'm doing real well, Bo.
You're doing extremely well. You're very poised right now to lead your division. You've got a lot of good stuff going on, and we just want to get a rundown on some of the students that are helping bring this to life right now. What a tremendous season you have.
Well, thank you. And any positions in particular?
Yeah, we'd like to find out about your. Actually, we start with your seniors, your senior positions on your team, and we like to work down to the freshmen to find out who's really stepping up to be a leadership on the squad that's really coming forward for you.
Well, we've got a fairly young defense. I believe we only have 3 seniors that are starting for us, but on the defensive side, Corey Sample has been a tremendous free safety for us, heavy hitter. Mike Reed, who's had a lot of migraine headaches and has actually missed a couple games because of it, and his medication, is done a wonderful job for us at corner. And Matt Scott, our nose guard, has really been good. And we surround them with a lot of juniors and sophomores, but they're generally of the 14 teams in our league, they're generally got the number 2 spot in almost every important defensive category, and we're giving up about 260 yards a game. Over on the offensive side of things, we have 3 offensive linemen who are seniors, and they've really been solid. We've only given up 7 sacks in 7 games. And that's obviously very critical for our passing effectiveness, and that leads our league as well, and speaks a lot about the offensive coaches on our staff. We do have a senior tailback who is sharing the load with 2 others, Puber McNeil, and a wide receiver. We've got a nice blend of seniors, juniors, sophomores, and we actually have a freshman who will be a strong candidate for Rookie of the Year, Michael Skinner, who's done a wonderful job for us.
It sounds like, Coach, your season is just looking beautiful. I'm looking here in the write-up. There's a couple internet stories about you guys. If you go on the internet, key it in Indiana University, you've got some great things going on there. And I think it comes from our original conversation about the BFO, Build for Others, and how you've put this team together. It's looking real good. And as far as the mix you have, do you usually go for a mix like that where you have a couple senior leaders and then you build a very young group behind them?
Well, ideally, that's what you would like. You want to have a strong core of seniors, and yet you also want to have some young guys who are coming up through the ranks that when those seniors leave, you're in good shape. And I really think that if our ultimate goal is to have 15 or 16 seniors graduating each year, and if you only have 4 or 6 seniors, you're probably not a very good program. And we've built the numbers up. We're not at 16 yet, but I think we have about a dozen seniors that are playing a significant role, and that's always good. And we don't have a dozen freshmen doing that. But no question that the attitude is very important, that the attention to being built for others, special teams. We just continue to teach attitude because there's always the potential in football more than any other sport for kids to be unhappy because you've got 90 players and there are only 22 whose parents think that they're starting. And so there's potential for parents, fans, media to say a kid's a failure if he's not one of those 22, and it couldn't be farther from the truth. It's a total team concept, and so we're continually trying to promote the scout team guys who make us good each week, the special teams players who do so much with field position each week, and the media can reward the quarterbacks, the receivers, the running backs, the Sackers, all those people. In fact, my wife it'll be 40 years. Karen and I have been married in December 23rd, and she's been in football longer than me. Her dad was my high school football coach. But she remarked to me this week, she went through the conference individual stats, and she said, we hardly have anybody in the top of the stats individually. The only top of the stats we have are our team stats.
Yeah,
and that's a great compliment to this team. We don't have one of the top 5 leading rushers. We don't have any of the top 4 or 5 receivers. We don't have the top 4 or 5 tacklers, the top 4 or 5 sackers, the individuals who get all the attention. But if you look at all the team stats, we do rank pretty high.
I think what your message here too is goes to there's 2 messages here that speaks loudly for the audience and for what a program you're developing here is in the NBA. NBA is so big on pushing the individual. When a team like the San Antonio Spurs, who's built a dynasty on being a true team where every avenue is focused to one cause, the New England's football program, sure, you can pick on everybody on the program for being a superstar, but it's one team coming together for one goal, and it's what you put together here. It's what people dream of putting together here, and you're right. My son plays the O-line, and he gets no love because the quarterback looks good when he blocks.
Sure.
But the coaches and everybody come up and say, if it wasn't for the offense and defensive lines, then the linebackers and the secondary wouldn't look as good at all. They would actually be very poor because they need to have that front up. And with the scores that you have, when we originally talked to you, it was I think it was like the 38-23 win that you had. You look at your numbers that you have on the wins, and it does look like a very team-orientated win because you can't dominate the way you all have without having team ball on both sides of the ball in all positions where you have one goal where everybody's working for everybody else. And
right.
Your closest game here looks like it's catapulted you possibly to go right into the playoffs on just a positive movement for yourself. Can you talk a little about the playoffs a little bit for yourself, or is that?
I hate going there, but
actually, I don't want. It's not really the playoffs. It's the fact, since you've coached at multiple levels, how has the playoffs in Division II different from how it's reached in the Division I programs? Because I like the Bulls, but I love the playoffs.
We could spend a lot of time on this, but let me do say this. And I remarked to one of our professors today. He said, "How do you keep them focused?" And I said, "Well, you know what? In Division I right now, if we were 6-1, we would know that unless the bottom fell out, we were a bowl team. And now it's just which bowl we're going to go to. And you can tend to lose focus because of that. In Division II football is the most difficult sport to reach the postseason of any sport in any at any level in the NCAA. And we have volleyball teams that can be 14-11 and go to the playoffs. We have basketball teams in Division II who can be 20-9 and go to the playoffs. But here, about the only guarantee is to win 9 games, and so it's really hard. And the teams I've coached the last few years, 9-2 went to the playoffs. 9-2 went to the playoffs. 8-2 did not go to the playoffs. 8-2 did not go to the playoffs. And now this year we're at 6-1, and we realize that at 8-2 there are no guarantees, and 9-1 we probably can make it. So it's easy to stay focused for every game because it's so hard to make the playoffs in Division II. We have 152 schools, and only 24 make it.
Yeah.
Whereas in Division I, there were 119 schools, and there are 36 that are going to make it.
Yeah, I think they're creating bowls just to have them on TV. I mean, you've got the right arm, underarm bowl. I mean, it's amazing how saturated it is. And the Division II, I love discussing this, guys, with you. Listen, we wanted to keep this short. We want to say thank you for taking time out of your schedule. We'd like to know, as you get further on, we're gonna follow up once again on the progress and possibly in the playoffs and keep track of what a great program you got going on over there. Is that okay, Coach?
Yes.